just want a chicken sandwich or barbecue chicken on a bun? Impossible with a plant-based diet? Not when you have this vegan chicken recipe. It's a fantastic meat alternative for all of your old favorite chicken recipes. Best of all, you can make it at home. Remember, when you make it yourself, you have total control over the fat, sugar, and salt. Welcome to Comfort Food Farms, the plant-based home cooking channel. If this is the first time we are meeting, I'm Kari Greger. I'm glad you've tuned in. Let's get into it. Here we have the Vitamix mixer. We are going to put in 3 cups of cooked chickpeas or garbanzo beans. That's the equivalent of 2 cans. Drained and rinsed. Also adding in 1 cup of water, or you could use 1 cup of aquafaba, the juice from the chickpeas. We have 3 tablespoons of miso paste. Next, we have 1 tablespoon of vegan bouillon powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Looks like I missed the 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, but that's okay. It turned out great. They taste wonderful. Take it to the blender and put it on there. Sometimes when it's so thick, the blades have a hard time making it cycle. So my Vitamix has this handy tool that helps you to tamp down and get the ingredients moving. It's too short to actually touch the blades. If you are finding this video useful, give us a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button and ring that bell so you will receive a notification the next time a plant-based vegan recipe is posted. Transfer the contents of the Vitamix into the Bosch mixer with the dough hook. You know, any kind of machine, KitchenAid or whatever that has a dough hook attachment. To this mixture, I'm going to add wheat gluten flour. We're going to start off with 1 cup. The recipe says 1 3/4 cup added, but it all depends on moisture and humidity. I know we're going to need at least 1 cup, so that's why I put that in first. And then later we'll add a little bit at a time until we reach the right consistency. Here goes 3/4 cup. So to this point it's 1 3/4 cup according to the recipe. A word about gluten. Gluten is a part of the wheat kernel. It is the part of the plant that has the protein. Now, gluten flour has been processed out of the whole kernel, much like an all-purpose flour is. So this is not 100% whole wheat flour, something quite different. That being said, gluten is not the boogeyman food that all the fad diet books make it out to be. Check out Dr. McDougall's video that I've linked in the description for more information about gluten. I often chuckle when people who are so concerned about protein will only eat gluten-free food. When you take out the gluten, you take out the protein. If you are truly celiac or gluten intolerant, I'm sorry, this recipe is not for you. Well, let's get finished. I let it knead for about 3 or 4 minutes until it is all mixed in together. And I know I have enough gluten because it cleans off the sides of the bowl. There, you can see what the gluten has done. We've got that stretch. Looks like meat being torn apart. We have a nice ball of dough, which I'm going to just knead a little bit by hand to get it all mixed in together. Then we're going to roll it out on the counter. And the reason for this is so we can get the stretch of the gluten all going one way. So it has a grain. If you just put this in a pot and cook it all bundled up, then it comes out in crunchy little pieces, which is, well, scrunched up little pieces, which is okay, but it doesn't really have the look of chicken meat. This rolling trick gives the meat the grain that you see, as if there were muscle there. The gluten gives us that stretch and grain of the meat. The trick to achieving that one-way grain is to only roll the dough back and forth on one axis. So you can roll it back and forth, but it has to be only one direction. I can fold the dough over and then keep going again. Same thing, until I get those nice stretches. And it has all the fibers moving one way. It doesn't change the flavor of the end product, but it's just the aesthetics, the look of it. I do this several times, folding it over and keeping the dough going one way. Now the last time, I'm going to fold it up. Before I wrap it up in the foil, I'm going to check and make sure that it fits into the Instant Pot and it's not too large. When you're wrapping it in foil, make sure you have excess on all sides. You want to fold it down tightly so that the roast or this vegan chicken meat isn't able to really expand. We want to keep it in there pretty tight. There. All set for the pot. In your Instant Pot, put the wire rack on the bottom. Add 2 cups of water, preferably boiling or hot water, as this will allow the Instant Pot to come to pressure quickly. The water should come to just below the rack. Put your roast into the Instant Pot. Make sure that you close the valve. I'm cooking it at high pressure for 90 minutes. I let it naturally release, and now we see the roast. It's still much too hot to handle, but I will lift it out of the Instant Pot and set it somewhere to cool. I let it cool on the counter, and when it's cool enough, I wrap it in plastic and put it in the fridge overnight. next day. It's quite chilled. And I'm going to open up the package. There we go. Looks sort of like a roast chicken breast. And I start tearing into it. Now, you can completely shred it up. Look at that lovely grain. Take a look. Can you see what all that rolling did? You can see the grain of the meat. And it does look like a piece of chicken. I tear it up into chicken nugget sized pieces. I used to tear it up into complete shreds, and then, you can't put them back together if you decide that you want to make chicken nuggets instead of have shredded meat on a bun. So that's why I went, okay, I'm going to freeze it in nugget sized pieces. Look at that gorgeous meat. See the grain? The gluten really does a nice job of giving us the grain and the strands. Once I have all of the chicken nuggets separated, I put it into a freezer bag, label it, and put it into the bag, add the date. Make sure you put the correct date on. That's been a problem with me in the past. If you don't want to call it chicken, you can call it chickpea meat or something like that. And now I've got chicken nuggets in the freezer, ready for some dish. If you found this information useful, give us a thumbs up below. Next week, we're going to be making something with this plant-based chicken we just did. We're going to be making chicken fried rice. Vegan, of course, plant-based. So, while you're down there, click on the subscribe button and hit that bell so you will receive a notification when that recipe is posted. Thanks for watching.